I felt angry. I felt like I was caught in a catch-22. I'm trapped again, like I was in middle school.
The event is not correlated in its significance to the reaction. It tells you that the reaction is not coming because of the situation at hand. The reaction coming from a wound that you're still carrying, from a pain that you're still carrying from middle school. In many cases, we feel very triggered, but the trigger has nothing to do with the situation that's in front of us. It's happening now. It has to do with our history, with unresolved pain, with unresolved wounds. How your parents relate to you, especially in the formative years, defines how later on in life you relate to yourself. You can change that. And this is what we're doing right now.
I felt angry. I haven't had a good relationship with that emotion because I don't know how to express it. I feel like if I were to express it, it wouldn't be taken seriously. And that just makes me more angry. So,
Well, let's unpack it.
yeah.
So, first, can you spot what triggered that emotion?
I was being coached on something at work. I felt like I was caught in a catch-22.
So,
Yeah.
explain.
So working retail, it was like, he's like, when do you do replenishments to make the store look nice? And I was like, I do them like immediately when it's missing. And my boss was like, what if you don't have time? What if the store's busy? And I'm like, I do it 2 hours before closing. And he's like, you got to do it immediately. I'm like, well, why'd you ask what do I do when it's busy? It's just, and then that sort of made me, it triggered this sort of like, I'm trapped again, like I was in middle school. And I'm trying not to take this personally, but now I just feel like I kind of felt cornered a little bit. And it made me angry. And I was just like, I gotta go like take a walk or something. That's kind of what triggered it.
Okay, so let's first, there's multiple layers to that. So let's try and break it down. Right. So the first thing, you gave him kind of the answer that he expected. He dismissed it, and then canceled the alternative answer.
Yes.
And you felt, okay, what now?
Yeah.
That on its own does not warrant anger. I mean, the same token, you could tell him, okay, so what do you want? And that's it. And the truth is, you can give you whatever the answer, and you can keep doing whatever you're doing. I mean, right? It's not there all the time. Whoever this guy is coaching you. So that on its own is not, the event is not correlated in its significance to the reaction. Okay? So that's the first thing you want to notice. Because it tells you that the reaction is not coming because of the situation at hand. The reaction coming from a wound that you're still carrying, from a pain that you're still carrying from middle school. You see that? Okay. That's first thing first. Because if you understand that, you can handle it differently. You don't have to react in real time. If you can unpack that connection, then in real time you can stay cool and then go home or whenever you have time. And then let's deal with the wound. Because the wound did not happen in the moment. He didn't, okay, so, kind of played around with you a little bit. You can give him whatever answer you want and move on. What I'd like you to take away from it is that these kind of incidents happen to you in different dimensions, in different aspects of life. In many cases, we feel very triggered, but the trigger has nothing to do with the situation that's in front of us. It's happening now. It has to do with our history, with unresolved pain, with unresolved wounds, usually from childhood. Okay? So, next time you feel it, see if you can catch it that way. Because that dissolves the need for reaction in real time, and you can say, okay, I know I have something here. This situation triggered it. When I get home and have some quiet time, I'll look into it. Okay. So that already solves the immediacy aspect. Now, let me kind of repeat to you in my own words what I hear. Tell me if I'm correct. This situation triggered in you the feeling of being dismissed, not taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And when you discussed it with your brother, he shared with you that he also sometimes has it. And throughout your description, what you said is that your anger is not taken seriously. Right?
Yes.
Now, it sounds to me a little bit the chicken and the egg, because what sounds to me that you're really saying is that you feel that you're not taking seriously, and that makes you angry. And you're looking for at least your anger to be taken seriously, and even that is not taken seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and responded to in the kind of the gravity that you feel,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes you even more angry.
Yes.
Okay, so it feels to me that the root is not the anger. The root is that you don't feel like you're being taken seriously.
I would agree with that. Yes.
You're not being heard,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that situation where you gave the right answer in the first place was dismissed, and then basically, like, what's going on? Because I already answered what you want to hear and you dismissed it, so what do you want me to do now? It triggers the I'm not being heard. I'm not being accounted for. My answer doesn't matter. I did and said or showed up in the right way, and it was dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
And that triggers the anger.
Yes.
Okay. Another aspect here is, what do you really want? You want your anger to be taken seriously, or you want to dissolve the anger?
What do you mean by dissolve the anger?
If you think about the situation, do you want your anger to be taken seriously, or you want not to feel anger?
I'd rather not feel anger.
Okay.
Anger would just be a means to get what I want, I guess.
Okay, great. So the core of the issue is, again, you not being heard. That's the core of the issue, not the anger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Now, we know that part of your middle school pain is you not being heard, you're not being accounted for, you're being dismissed, you're not being accepted, and that triggered the whole rejection and outcasting and everything that followed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in essence, what we're talking about is an issue of self-worth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. Is this guy that coached you in the store, does he determine your self-worth?
No.
Okay, so in that case, he's not the one triggering your anger. He's not the one dismissing you.
Mm.
See? When you consider his response as dismissive and you not being heard, you're projecting on him what you're feeling inside. But it's not him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is now, why are you dismissing yourself? And what's the answer to that? He's not the one not taking you seriously. It's not the environment, and he's just a representative of the environment for this case, right? It's not the environment that's dismissing you. It's you that's dismissing you. Right now.
Mm.
Mm. You see the connection? You see the logic?
I see it.
Okay. So again, so why are you dismissing you? You're dismissing yourself. You're not taking yourself seriously. And apparently your brother does the same. Which gives you a clue where it's coming from.
My parents, maybe.
Yeah. How you were treated as kids by your parents.
Mm.
There was something in the way they related to both of you, the way they were upbringing or parenting their kids, that made both of you feel dismissed and unheard. So you both have the same trait.
Mm.
Right? So it tells you where the source. Now, I said earlier that usually the source of those kind of wounds is in childhood, usually in early childhood. So there was a pattern in the way your parents were parenting that caused both you and your brother to feel unheard, to feel dismissed, to feel insignificant in a way.
Mm.
Now, it's not necessarily that they meant that. I'm pretty sure they didn't, given the fact that you have a pretty stable core family relationship, and there's love, there's other families. It's not mandatory,
Mm.
you know. So it's probably some pattern that they learned probably from their own upbringing, how to relate to kids, that caused that. It wasn't deliberate. Because given your relationship today, they do care about you and your brother. So it's not that they didn't care and they wanted to dismiss, but you know, it's a behavior which
Yeah.
both of you interpreted the same way.
Mm.
Understand?
Yes.
Right. Now, the way our parents relate to us essentially puts the mold or puts the template in our subconscious around how we relate to ourselves. Because how else would we know? So how your parents relate to you, especially in the formative years, so up to the age of 6, 7, defines how later on in life you relate to yourself. Now, you can change that. And this is what we're doing right now. But until you do that, that's the default setting.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, because not only is it like striking a chord, I haven't had it recently, but I have a reoccurring dream where it's almost always with my family, and I get triggered in the dream, and I just have a meltdown. I literally throw a tantrum, and I am just screaming and breaking things and attacking them in the dream, just to be heard. Or
And what do they do in the dream?
They just kind of go, yeah, it's fine. They're patting me on the head or rolling their eyes, or just ignoring me. Yeah.
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 See? Dreaming is our subconscious processing events and themes that show up in our life.
Mm.
That's the essence of dreaming. So if it's recurring, it's a big theme in how you feel throughout your days. And this type of frustration of feeling unheard can happen every day with other people, doesn't matter. Right? And it brings up the core wound. Because the core of it is not what happens to you in your life today. The core of it is how you've been treated as a young child.
Mm.
Which tells you that a lot of what transpired in the rejection you felt with your middle school friends and being basically outcasted out of your social circle is not really all about what transpired then.
Mm.
Had a big component of what was going on inside of you all the years leading up to it. See?
Yeah.
And in those incidents, a lot of your behavior was a projection of the pain that you were carrying from how your parents were dismissing you. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can see that, you can start understanding that to a large degree you caused it.
I caused it because I expected it.
Because you reacted not to what they were doing, but to your pain inside that you brought from home.
Mm.
Of course, they served as a trigger, but the same token as you understand the incident in the store with the coaching, same thing happened then.
Mm. Mm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
Sad a little bit,
Why?
because it kind of feels like I'm cursed to repeat that, at least until I met you.
Okay, but now we're here. We're in the here and now.
Sad that,
And you're right.
yeah.
That's how people perpetuate painful patterns in their life. That's exactly how.
A little bit hopeful.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's great.
Good.
What else?
A little bit of fear,
Why?
because if I heal that, I'm not sure what's left. In that, like, you asked me once, like, how do I know I'm me when I wake up?
Mm-hmm.
If that's not there anymore to anchor myself, it's a little scary.
There's going to be something else. There's not going to be a void.
And there goes the hope again. All right, I feel hopeful.
Yeah, maybe we're going to have the baseline will be just happiness. What's wrong with that?
Ooh, happiness sounds good. That's what I feel right now.
That's awesome. It's great.